Happy new comic book day, everyone. Nick from Comic Culture here. Time to show you what I picked up this week. That's right, comic book haul coming up next. Stick around. Welcome back to the channel. So all these books are from Cadets, Toys, and Comics. Go down below in the description. You'll find links to them. Make sure to check them out. Happy new comic book day yet again. We're going to go through all the books I picked up this week, all in preview for Nick at Night, my weekly non-spoiler comic book review show. Comes out on Saturday, so check that out if you haven't yet. Let's go ahead and get started in the big two. We're going to start with some DC right now. We have Marvel's Family Comics. This is that Black Adam issue facsimile. I didn't really know this book even existed. I got to the shop, saw it on the rack, and I'm like, gotta have one of those. So I went ahead and picked one of those up just for my facsimile collection. And maybe one day I'll get through reading most of those. We're gonna go over to Flashpoint Beyond. We have issue number 6. Really cool series so far. Interested to know how it ends up in here. Last issue. The Flashpoint whole series has been really good. I like what they've done with the Beyond series. So if you're into the Flashpoint in general, check out Beyond. It's been really good. Speaking of things being really good, we have World's Finest, Batman and Superman number 8 from Mark Waid. Very interesting book. We have Mora on here as well. I think we had a little break with Mora, with Dan Mora and the art. I have to go back and take a look. The other series is Batman versus Robin. It spins out of this series, so it looks like we're going to have this retrospective tale in World's Finest, and then we're going to have a more current day, more present day book going on with Batman versus Robin. So that's kind of the time difference between the two. This run has been really good so far. Batman versus Robin is still kind of earning my respect at the moment. It's so far so good. It's very much having to do with like the dark magic world, but the villain is a shared villain between these two series, so you might want to check out World's Finest and then go into Batman vs. Robin. We just have a few more books for DC. Prestige editions, we have Aquaman Andromeda from Ram V. This, I believe, is the last book. This is issue number 3. Art's really killer in here. I love this larger format that we have. Christian Ward definitely utilizes the full pages in here with the different art style and stuff like that. So highly recommend Aquaman Andromeda. We'll see how that one ends up. Then we have Joshua Williamson on The Rogues, one of my favorite books right now. It actually came to a conclusion in this issue as well. I just got done reading it a little while ago. It is awesome. I really love this book. It's so cool. I'm loving this book, so check this one out if you have the chance to pick up the other copies as well. So that's actually it for DC. We're going to jump over into some Marvel next. We have Predator, issue number 3 from Ed Brisson. Very, just kind of like a cool book. It's kind of like middle of the road. Following a main character right now. She's got some family trauma. She's hunting down predators herself. Gets into a bad situation at the end of the last issue. We'll see how she gets out in here. Just an interesting book overall. Nothing breathtaking, but it's actually, kind of fun. Keeping my interest so far, which is half the battle. Then we have some collaborative writing going on right now with Thor. We have issue number 28. Al Ewing is on here. Donny Cates is on here. And who's actually back on the art? I don't know if Nick Klein is actually doing the art in this anymore. And so I'm not entirely sure what's going on from that perspective. I'm trying to see if I can actually find that. I hate when they put the credits on some random page halfway through the middle of the book. But yeah, art style is just a little bit different. In this issue here, I actually got done reading it. It's an interesting mashup. It does still feel like Donny Cates is headlining this, but apparently the script and everything was from Al Ewing, and there's obviously going to be some symbiote stuff building up over the next few months because we have a big event coming up in the summer of next year. So if you're in the symbiote, you're going to get a ton of it coming up pretty soon. They're introducing it more into the main titles right now, especially in Thor, obviously. So check it out if you're interested in that kind of stuff. We have Jed MacKay on Moon Knight, issue number 16. Really liking this book so far. It's more street level. He's taking on some vampires and some new threats, some new villains, things like that. He's trying to build up his ranks right now, trying to develop a plan to get back at this guy. Really cool stuff going on in Moon Knight, and the art's always killer in that run. We have a new Spider-Man, wouldn't you know? We have another one, Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man issue number 1. Got that cool variant cover there. I don't know what to expect in here. I forgot what the solicitation was for this. I read Spider-Man number 1 that came out the other week, and it was okay. And then I kind of fell off of ASM, even though I heard it got better the last few issues, and I have them, just haven't read them yet. So we'll see what Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man has to offer. I'll let you guys know on Saturday after I get done reading that. Ron V's back again with Carnage issue number 7. Hopefully it kind of changes scenes, kind of changes pace. I like the overall strategy that we're going with right now with Carnage trying to absorb different powers to become godlike, to compete against the King in Black. The story just kind of took a weird turn the last 2 or 3 issues, and so I'm wondering if we're heading out of that kind of plot right now and going kind of in a different direction. So we'll see in issue number 7. Haven't gotten into that one yet. You know, it wouldn't be a week without some X-Men titles, so I think I just got one, though. Just X-Men proper, issue number 16. Forge is doing Forge stuff in here. He's going into the vault right now. There's some sketchy stuff going on. Don't know exactly what's going to happen. This book has kind of abandoned the whole Eternals, Judgment Day and everything like that, and so it's very much alive in all the other titles, so we're going to see if they mention that in this book. It's kind of odd that it's completely out and they've abandoned that and they've gone down this Children of the Vault story again. So we'll see what happens there. It's been pretty interesting, but it's just weird to jump out of that event so quickly. Now we got a slew of indie books here, starting with Scout Comics, issue number 3 of Agent of World, a book I'm stacking right now. I have Ashcan number 1, I have number 2, and I have number 3. I'm going to sit down and binge these probably over the weekend so I can get caught up because I hear it's a really good book. So looking forward to getting to that one. We have Dark Horse Comics, Shaolin Cowboy, Cruel to Be Kin. This is issue number 6. Love, love, love this book. You do not need to know anything about Shaolin Cowboy to enjoy it. If you see it on the shelf and you can get the early copies as well, pick this one up, get the trade. It's so cool. It's worth it for sure. Over in the Image Comics, we're stacking Silver Coin right now. One day I'll get caught up. But it was such a cool series in the beginning. The novelty of it kind of wore off once I realized they weren't as connected as I wanted them to be. Maybe that's changed since I fell off. Definitely stacking them right now on number 15 right now. Wow, time has flown on that one. Chip Zdarsky's Public Domain, a book that I'm enjoying, but it's a little bit too, grounded for me, honestly. It's more about the competitive nature, about the creator landscape in comic books and how it affects the family and the family dynamics and drama and the issues between creators and things like that. It has definitely some cool points to it. This book is kind of like a new beginning, a new fresh start for our main characters. I almost said heroes. For our main characters, and we're just kind of getting into seeing what their future might be like, but there's also that little hint of drama and unknown kind of chaos in the background. So Public Domain, been an interesting read so far, but it's not a superhero book, so don't get confused by any of the covers or anything like that. Then we have 10,000 Black Feathers, issue number 2 from Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino and Dave Stewart. This creative team is always knocking out some bangers. I'm liking everything that they're doing right now. It can be a little ambiguous from time to time, but there's no denying that the art is crazy good. And it's just like a real eerie, kind of moody comic in general. Been digging that one so far. Then we have Sean Lewis and Hayden Sherman on Above Snakes, issue number 4. Issues 1 and 2 are really good. Issue number 3 kind of fell off a little bit, but it gave us a couple little nuggets of some dialogue and some plot and progression. We're going to see what issue number 4 brings, but that's been a really fun book so far. From AWA, there's always an AWA book, it seems like, too. We have Peter Milligan's on Sacrament, issue number 3. Just a cool reflection of how religion can be handled later in the future when we're across the galaxy, you know what I mean, going from planet to planet. We follow a guy right now who's kind of lost faith, but he's being brought in kind of against his own will to perform this exorcism on this one person. And so he has to kind of pull it all back together and make it happen or else, right? So pretty interesting book right there. If you see it, it might be worth a pickup. And then we have a book that completely threw me off right here. I didn't know this was even coming out. This is actually volume 2 of Eve. This is called Eve, Children of the Moon. This is issue number 1. The first volume was interesting. It kind of started really, really well, I thought, and then it kind of fell off. I think it was only 5 issues. It was a real abrupt ending, but it was fun and interesting. It was kind of like about the end of the world, and this one girl was kind of created by her parents, and she was meant to save the world, you know what I mean? That kind of a plot. And I got to go back and reread some of the details. I read this first issue, and I forgot a lot of the points because they do a little bit of fast forwarding in here, and then all of a sudden there's all these people, and like the killer psychotic robot teddy bear is back, and I thought he was gone, and I'm like, wait, did I miss a whole volume, or do I just not remember the end of that story very well? So Eve, issue number 1, volume 2, I believe, is out. Complete surprise to me. I need to revisit the first volume to keep going, I think. I did read this one. I'll probably continue with it just because it was kind of fun the first time around. But yeah, that one completely threw me off. I had no idea it was coming out. So that's everything that I got this week. I appreciate you watching the video. Let me know down below in the comments what books you picked up and what you're most looking forward to. I'll get these read and I'll put out Nick at Night coming this Saturday night, so don't miss that one. And just as a reminder, I upload tons of comic book related content throughout the week, so hit that bell notification to be alerted when those videos drop. But again, happy new comic book day. We'll see y'all in the comments.